strategy.
Relationships among 6 food organs. Coordination in the process of digesting, absorbing, and excreting food. Although gallbladder, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, urinary bladder, and triple jaw are different in functions, they are all organs for transmitting water and food. After the food enters the mouth, being accepted and digested in the stomach, it is transmitted to the small intestine, where the chyme is further digested by separating clear from turbid. The clear is transported throughout the whole body by the function of the spleen. The turbid is transported down into the large intestine and becomes stool to be discharged out of the body through dryness and transformation functions of the large intestine. When the small intestine separates clear from turbid, it also absorbs body fluid, which has something to do with the total amount of urine. The water stored in the urinary bladder will be excreted out of the body through the qi transformation of the kidney and triple burner. During the digestion process, the liver helps the gallbladder to excrete bile into the small intestine to promote digestion. The triple jaw, the passage of water with its qi transformation, is also involved in digestion, absorption, and excretion of food. The 6 food organs affect one another pathologically. For example, disturbance of large intestine in transmission and transformation not only leads to obstruction to cause constipation, but also affects the regular descent of the stomach qi, which can cause halitosis and belching. 6 food organs function well when they are not obstructed. 6 food organ transport and transform food and water. They constantly perform the functions of receiving, transmitting, and excreting. Therefore, it is appropriate for them to be kept clear and free from obstruction. Clinically, the disease of 6 food organs is often presented as obstructive syndrome. As for the treatment, tonifying or sedating, the principle should be focused on unblocking the 6 food organs to promote the normal food transformation and transportation. The relationship between the 5 Zhang organs and 6 food organs. The heart and the small intestine. The external and internal relationship between the heart and small intestine is formed by the connections between their meridians. Physiologically, the heart meridian of Han Shao Yin affiliates to the heart and connects with the small intestine, while the small intestine meridian of Han Tai Yang affiliates to small intestine and connects with the heart. Pathologically, if heart fire gets hyperactive, the heat may be transported into the small intestine through the meridian, which will lead to the dysfunction of the small intestine with dysphoria, sores in the mouth, oliguria, and painful urination. The external and internal relationship between the lung and large intestine is formed by the connections between their meridians. The lung meridian of Han Tai Yin affiliates to the lung and connects with the large intestine, while the large intestine meridian of Han Yang Míng affiliates to large intestine and connects with the lung. Physiologically, the purification and descent of lung qi help to normalize the transporting function of large intestine. The smooth conveyance by the large intestine is also beneficial to lung qi's purification and descent. The large intestine governs the thin fluid, while the lung controls the water passage. They both coordinate with each other in the process of water metabolism. Pathologically, heat obstruction in the lung can affect the large intestine in conveyance of the waste, which can cause constipation. On the contrary, constipation caused by heat obstruction in large intestine will lead to adverse rising of lung qi with manifestations as asthma, chest oppression, and cough. The spleen and the stomach form an exterior-interior relation through their meridians connection and affiliation. The physiological relationship between the spleen and the stomach includes the following 3 aspects. First, coordination in reception and transportation. The spleen governs transportation and transformation, while the stomach controls reception and digestion. They both cooperate with each other in digestion and absorption of food. Second, mutual influence of ascent and descent. Spleen qi governs the rise of the clear, while stomach qi controls the descent of the turbid, both of which restrict and assist each other. The spleen and the stomach play the pivotal role in descending and ascending of qi activities. Third, mutual promotion between dryness and dampness. The spleen is a Zhang organ pertaining to yin, which prefers dryness and dislikes dampness. The stomach is a fu organ pertaining to yang, which prefers moisture and dislikes dryness. The spleen is easily encumbered by dampness, while the stomach is easily invaded by heat. Pathologically, the disorders between spleen and stomach tend to affect each other. Simultaneously, it can result in anorexia, abdominal distension, vomiting, dizziness, diarrhea. Symptoms such as abdominal distension and diarrhea are often seen in spleen disorder, while poor appetite, easing hunger, and stomach are often seen in stomach disorder. The liver and the gallbladder form exterior-interior relations through their meridians, connection, and affiliation. The secretion and excretion of the bile are regulated and controlled by liver's function in governing free flow of qi. The smooth extraction of the bile is beneficial to liver's function in governing free flow of qi. The liver is in charge of making strategy, but decision-making depends on the gallbladder. If the two organs cooperate closely, it will result in normal emotion and good decision-making. Pathologically, liver and gallbladder often affect each other. Symptoms such as bitter taste in the mouth and jaundice are often associated with liver qi congestion. The kidney and urinary bladder form an exterior-interior relationship through their meridians connection and affiliation. The turbid part of water in the body is transformed into urine by qi transforming function of the kidney and transported down into the bladder, while discharge of urine is the main function of the bladder. At the same time, it is adjusted by the function of qi transforming and qi controlling of the kidney. The relationship between the kidney and the urinary bladder lies in their interdependence and mutual coordination in production, transformation, and excretion of urine. Pathologically, if kidney qi is deficient, it will affect excretion of urine with manifestations of lower back soreness, dysuria, and enuresis. If there is damp heat in the urinary bladder, it will impair the kidney, which can result in frequent urination, urgent urination, and painful urination. Qi, blood, and body fluids are the basic substances which constitute the human body and maintain its life activity. Qi is very active and refined substance, while blood is a red liquid circulating within the vessels. Body fluids is a general term for all normal liquids in the human body. Qi, blood, and body fluids constitute and sustain functions of organs, meridians, tissues, and orifices. They are metabolized by the functional activities of the viscera and meridians. Therefore, qi, blood, and body fluids are closely related to the organs, tissues, and meridians physiologically. Thank you for your attention.
Let's proceed to interviewing streaming eyes. Streaming eyes may be due to heat of full or empty type. In particular, it may be due to full or empty heat of the lung or stomach. Other causes of streaming eyes include external wind heat, liver fire, and liver blood deficiency associated with liver heat. In some cases, streaming eyes may be due to liver blood deficiency and general qi deficiency or kidney yang deficiency. These two types of streaming eyes are called cold streaming. To summarize, streaming eyes can be due to lung heat and it will manifest with cough, or it can be due to lung empty heat and will manifest with dry cough. It can be due to stomach heat and it will manifest with epigastric pain and thirst, or stomach empty heat, which will manifest with epigastric pain, thirst with desire to sip. It can also be due to external wind heat and will manifest with aversion to cold and fever, or liver fire and will manifest with red eyes and better taste, or it can be due to liver blood deficiency with some heat and will manifest with blurred vision and red eyes, or it can be due to liver blood deficiency, which will manifest with blurred vision, or it can be due to kidney yang deficiency, which will manifest with backache, abundant clear urine, or general qi deficiency, which will manifest with tiredness, loose stools, and weak voice. There are traditionally two types of streaming eyes. One is called yulei, which indicates running and streaming eyes and is described here. The other is yanqi, indicates a thick discharge and is described under discharge from the eyes. The most common cause of streaming eyes lies in the liver channel. Many different liver patterns can cause this symptom. Among them are liver blood deficiency, liver heat, liver fire, and liver yin deficiency. The heart channel also reaches the eye, and heart fire may cause streaming eyes. The kidney controls the fluids in the eyes, and a deficiency of this organ, whether yin or yang, may also cause streaming eyes. Finally, invasion of external wind may cause streaming eyes with a sudden onset. So in liver blood deficiency, there will be streaming eyes, floaters, blurred vision, dizziness, numbness or tingling of limbs, scanty menstruation, dull, pale complexion, a pale tongue, a choppy or fine pulse, and this is called cold streaming. In kidney yang deficiency, there will be streaming eyes, lower back ache, cold knees, feeling cold, bright white complexion, weak knees, tiredness, abundant clear urination, urination at night, a pale and wet tongue, deep and weak pulse, and this is called cold streaming. In liver blood deficiency with liver heat, the streaming eyes will come with itchy eyes, dizziness, blurred vision, floaters, numbness or tingling of the limbs, scanty menstruation, dull, pale face with floating red color on the cheeks, thirst, irritability, headache, tongue, pale, but also slightly red on the sides, and the pulse is choppy or fine and slightly rapid. In liver fire, streaming eyes will manifest with bloodshot eyes, headaches, dizziness, tinnitus, irritability, propensity to outbursts of anger, red face, thirst, bitter taste, constipation, dark urine, red tongue with redder sides and yellow dry coating, and a wiry rapid pulse. In kidney and liver yin deficiency with empty heat, streaming eyes will manifest with itchy eyes, red and dry eyes, dizziness, tinnitus, hardness of hearing, dull occipital or vertical headache, insomnia, numbness or tingling of the limbs, malar flash, lower back ache, dry throat, dry hair and skin, brittle nails, dry vagina, night sweating, dry stools, scanty menstruation or amenorrhea, 5-palm heat, a feeling of heat in the evening, red tongue without coating, and a floating empty and rapid pulse. In heart fire, streaming eyes will manifest with red and red inner canthus of the eyes, painful eyes, palpitations, thirst, mouth and tongue ulcers, mental restlessness, feeling agitated, insomnia, dream disturbed sleep, feeling of heat, red face, bitter taste, red tongue with redder tip and yellow coating, and an overflowing rapid pulse. In damp phlegm in the spleen and lungs, streaming eyes will manifest with swollen eyelids, sticky eyelids, chronic cough, coming in bouts with profuse white sticky sputum that is easy to expectorate, white pasty complexion, a feeling of oppression in the chest, shortness of breath, dislike of lying down, wheezing, nausea, abdominal fullness, tendency to obesity, swollen tongue with a sticky white coating and a slippery pulse. In empty cold in the liver channel, streaming eyes will manifest with fullness and distension of the hypogastrium with pain that refers downwards to the scrotum and testis and upwards to the hypochondrium. The pain is alleviated by warmth, straining of the testis or contraction of the scrotum. Vertical headache, feeling of cold, cold hands and feet, vomiting of clear watery fluid or dry vomiting, pale and wet tongue with a white coating and a deep, wiry, fine, slow pulse. In invasion of wind heat, streaming eyes, there will be streaming eyes with sudden onset, itchy eyes, pain in the eye, aversion to cold, fever, cough, sore throat, stuffed or runny nose with yellow discharge, headache, body aches, slight sweating, slight thirst, swollen tonsils, tongue slightly red on the sides in the chest area or on the front part, floating rapid pulse, and this is called hot streaming. In invasion of wind cold, streaming eyes with sudden onset, itchy eyes, aversion to cold, fever, cough, itchy throat, slight breathlessness, stuffed or runny nose with clear watery discharge, sneezing, occipital headache, body aches, thin white coating, and floating tight pulse. Thank you for your attention.
Let's discuss the energetic properties of foods. First, we have the venison, the spicy, sweet, and hot. It strengthens the qi and yang, circulates and invigorates blood, may aggravate heat and fire conditions. Nuts and seeds, generally sweet, neutral, or warm. Nuts are rich in flavor. This means that they also have a tendency to produce food stagnation, dampness, and phlegm if too many are eaten at a time. Next, the seaweed, salt and cold. It nourishes the yin, dissolves the phlegm, and accumulates and drains heat. The vegetables. They are generally neutral or cooling in their dynamic, although there are exceptions. The onion family, for example, is warm. A rule of thumb is that the vegetables that grow quickly and contain a lot of water, for example, lettuce, tomato, cucumber, and so on, are often more cooling. In the past, you could only grow and buy these vegetables in the summer when their cooling energy was more appropriate to the young season. Now, people eat them all year round, even in winter and in countries with a very yin climate. The beans, generally good for the kidneys, nourishes the blood, tonify qi. Dried beans help to drain dampness. Tofu is good for the lung. Green and leafy vegetables generally nourishes the blood and strengthens the qi. Many of them will also cool the liver and nourish liver yin. Cabbage is especially beneficial for the intestine. White cabbage is slightly warming. Chinese cabbage is a little more cooling and drains damp heat. Spinach suits the walls of the intestine and is beneficial when there is heat or yin deficiency in the stomach and large intestine. Lettuce, tomato, cucumber, cold in their energy and therefore drain heat. Mushrooms, many mushrooms drain toxin and transform phlegm. Onion family, they are warm, spicy, and sweet. Due to their spicy flavor, plants from the onion family help to disperse stagnations and expel exogenous evil qi. Root vegetables, generally sweet and generally strengthen the stomach and spleen qi, nourishes the qi and blood. We have here the table of a temperature of common foods. For the cold, we have asparagus, banana, bean sprouts, celery, crab, cucumber, fruit juice, lemon, melon, salt. For the cool, we have the apple, aubergine, avocado, barley, beer, broccoli, buckwheat, gormgate, marjoram, mushroom. For the neutral, we have alfalfa, sprout, almonds, beans, beetroot, carrot, cauliflower, cheese, corn, cow milk. For the warm, we have the basil, bell pepper, black currant, butter, cherry, chicken, eel, fennel, ginger, goat milk. For the hot, we have the alcohol, chili, chocolate, cinnamon, curry, deep fried food, garlic, lamb, paprika, and pepper. For the cold, we have the seaweed, tofu, tomato, watermelon, yogurt. For the cool, we have the orange, pea, pear, rabbit, radishes, salad, shrimp, spearmint, spinach, strawberry, tea. Neutral, we have the duck, egg for the chicken, goose, grapes, hazelnut, herring, lentil, mackerel, millet, olive, plum. For the warm, we have the ham, leek, lobster, nutmeg, oats, onion, oregano, parsley, peach, rosemary, sage. For the hot, we have the trout, venison, yogi tea. For the cool, we have the wheat. For the neutral, we have pork, tomatoes, rice, rye, sardines, sesame, spelt. For the warm, we have the salmon, thyme, walnut. Thank you for your attention.
We discuss spleen damp heat under diagnosis according to Sanjiao theory. This pattern corresponds to the Qi level damp heat pattern in the 4 levels. Etiology, exposure to pathogenic heat. Symptoms and signs, fever that is reduced by sweating, but soon rises again. Fever that is worse in the afternoon and comes in waves. Heavy and aching muscles, especially in the limbs. Nausea, poor appetite, loose, sticky, odorous stools. Abdominal distension or bloating. Heavy and possibly pounding headache. Difficulty in thinking clearly, oily skin, yellowish complexion, restlessness or irritability, red tongue with yellow sticky coating, rapid and slippery pulse. Key symptoms are odorous, diarrhea, fever, yellowish, greasy tongue coating, rapid slippery pulse. Treatment principle, drain damp heat. Acupuncture points to choose from, Do 14, LI 11, stomach 25, stomach 44, spleen 9, spleen 6, and RAN 12. Needle technique is draining. Do 14 and LI 11 drain heat. Stomach 25 and stomach 44 drain damp heat from the intestines. Spleen 6 and spleen 9 drain damp heat. RAN 12 drains dampness from the middle jaw. The person should avoid consuming foods that produce dampness or heat. Spleen damp heat can be caused by no previous pattern or upper jaw damp heat, and spleen damp heat can result in lower jaw heat. To recap, damp heat in the spleen is caused by exterior damp heat, eating contaminated or unclean food with possible background spleen Qi deficiency. Signs and symptoms, fullness of epigastrium and lower abdomen, epigastric abdominal pain, poor appetite, feeling of heaviness, thirst without desire to drink, nausea or vomiting, loose stools with offensive odor, yellow urine, heavy cumbersome limbs, tetanus smooth, feeling of heat, low-grade fever unabated by sweating, headache, bitter taste, yellow sclera. Pulse, slippery and rapid or soggy. Tongue is red, sticky yellow coating. Treatment principle, clear the heat, resolve dampness, regulate intestines. Spleen 9 resolves lower burner damp heat. Do 9 resolves damp heat. Bladder 20 resolves dampness. REN 9 harmonizes intestines. Stomach 22 to regulate the intestines. Bladder 22 to regulate spleen and stomach. Stomach 25 regulates large intestine. Spleen 6 resolves damp heat. LI 11 clears heat and resolves damp. GB 34 resolves damp heat. REN 11 harmonizes middle burner. Stomach 28 regulates lower burner. LI 4 clears heat. For yellowing of the body or eyes, we drain liver 3, GB 34. For itchy skin, we add jīng, spleen 10. For pronounced heat, drain Do 14, prick LI 1 to bleed. Needle with drainage, no moxa. Thank you for your attention.
Let's now proceed to Zhang's viscera with lung relationships. The first among the lung relationships is its association with skin and hair. The skin and hair refer to the entire organ that covers the body, including the dermis, the hair, and the sweat glands. The skin and hair must be warmed and moistened by the defensive qi and body fluids. Physiologically, the main functions of the skin and hair are to secrete sweat, protect the exterior of the body from exogenous evils, and regulate the body temperature. These functions are closely tied to those of the lung. First, the lung controls defensive qi. It distributes defensive qi and essential nutrients to the skin and hair, and by doing so, warms and moistens them. Second, the skin and hair work closely with the lung to regulate respiration by opening or closing the sweat pores. The plain question terms the sweat pore the portal of gas. In pathology, the lung and skin and its hair also affect each other. For example, when wind and cold attack the body surface. They generally enter by the skin and hair, then proceed to affect the lungs' dispersion function. This often results in aversion to cold, nasal blockage, fever, and cough. If lung qi is deficient and fails in its dispersion function, it is unable to distribute defensive qi and fluids to the body surface. This reduces the skin's ability to ward off disease. There may then be profuse sweating and increased susceptibility to disease. The skin may appear pallid and wan, and the hair may show withering. Hence, in Chinese medicine, there is the saying, the lung has its outward manifestation in the skin and hair. Second association is with the nose, as the lung is open or opens in the nose. The nose is an organ of ventilation and is the external orifice of the lung. Its physiological function are principally ventilation and olfaction. In Chinese medicine, the nose's capability depends upon the functions of the lung. If lung qi is harmonious, the nasal passage is unobstructed so that breathing is smooth and the sense of smell effective. Thus, the spirit pivot states, when lung qi permeates the nose, the lung and the nose can know fragrance and foul odor. In pathology, lung diseases and nose diseases often influence one another. For example, when evil qi attacks the lung may lose its ability to disperse. This leads to dysfunction of the nose and may result in nasal blockage, nasal discharge, anosmia, and nosebleed. Conversely, when exogenous evils injure the person, they mostly enter through the nose or mouth and can directly affect the lung. In clinical practice, the physician often approaches disorders of the nose by treating the lung. Throat as the gateway for lung. The throat is the passageway through which the air of respiration exits and enters. It is also the organ for generating voice. The lung meridians pass through the throat, linking the passage of air and the generation of voice to lung function. If lung qi is in equilibrium, then the passage of air and the voice are normal. If lung qi is deficient, then the voice is weak. If wind cold invade the lung so that the movement of lung qi become impeded, then the passage of air through the throat becomes hoarse and the voice high-pitched, or the voice becomes hoarse or absent. This is known as solid metal does not sound. The hoarseness or aphonia resulting from deficiency of lung qi is known as cracked metal does not sound. Thank you for listening.
Let's discuss diagnosis according to the Sangfu organ patterns, the heart imbalances, pathology part 2. As stated, a deficiency of heart qi and heart blood can manifest with insomnia because the shen is not anchored at night, resulting in person being awake and conscious. Excess heat in the heart, such as when there is heart fire or phlegm heat, can also result in insomnia. In these situations, even though heart qi and blood are not weak, they are not able to root the shen because it is being agitated by the excess heat. The heart is responsible for and control communication and contact with others. If there is an excessive heat, the person can become too communicative. They will be too open. These are the people who share their whole life story with complete strangers without the stranger even having shown any particular interest in hearing it. In the clinic, these clients can be difficult to interview because they talk too much and give you far too many details without you asking for them. They will usually also talk more quickly because heat overactivates the shen, resulting in a cascade of thoughts. The opposite of these patients are people who are uncommunicative and taciturn. They can also be difficult in clinical setting because it can be a problem drawing information out of them. This is usually a manifestation of the heart qi stagnating or being blocked. Phlegm can also obscure the shen by enshrouding it in a blanket or lying like a mist around it. These people are not completely present. It can be difficult to create and maintain contact with them. Their communication can be a bit confused and their voice may sound slurred. If the phlegm is very concentrated and the shen can become so obscure that they talk nonsense, saying one thing but meaning something completely different, or they are completely enclosed in their own world and talk to themselves. By the blocking and shrouding of their shen will mean that their comprehension is impeded and they will also have difficulty concentrating. The memory and concentration will also be affected by other heart imbalances. If the shen lacks nourishment, for example, if there is heart blood deficiency, the memory and concentration will be poor. It can also result in a poor concentration, although the dynamics are completely different. Heat will agitate shen, so the mind is easily distracted, and there will be too many thoughts arising in the head, making it difficult to maintain focus and concentrate on one thing at a time. The activity and agitation will also mean that their memory will often be poor because the information never had a chance to settle and thereby be stored. Phlegm blocking the shen will also result in difficulty concentrating. There is a mental fog and the person will have difficulty thinking clearly and comprehending what is going on around them. Shen manifests in the eyes. This means that when the shen is affected, it is possible to observe deviations here. Ideally, when the shen is in balance, the eyes will be clear and bright. Balance. There will be good eye contact between you and the patient. Heat agitates shen and can cause person eyes to dart about and they can have difficulty maintaining eye contact. When it is there, the eye contact will be clear and even intense. A person who is heart qi deficient will find it difficult to maintain eye contact, but this will be due to shyness or nervousness, and their eyes will lack vitality and sparkle. Phlegm can cause the eyes to be dull and matte. The person's shen cannot shine through the mist. When there is a heart qi stagnation, it is as if the person's vision becomes introverted and does not extend outward from their eyes. It is as if they lack vision and only look inwards towards themselves. When there is excess heat, the opposite happens and the eyes can be very intense. One of shen's function is to ensure that we conform to society around us and that our behavior and responses are normal. If shen is agitated by heat or blocked by phlegm, this function is disturbed. This can result in a person saying and doing things that other people think are strange or weird. Their appearance may also seem peculiar to others. People whose shen is disturbed can often be recognized by their attire, their hair, and their general appearance. Their clothes can be gaudy, discordant, or just muddled. It is important, however, to remember that what seems abnormal to many people can be quite normal in a particular subculture. In this case, the person's shen is in a fine balance. They have just adopted different standards. A person's shen is an individual refraction of the universal shen. If their shen is in harmony, they can have a fundamental sense of belonging, a sense of tranquility and security. When shen is agitated, blocked, or undernourished, the person can lose this sensation and they can feel unease, anxiety, or fundamental loneliness. A person who is heart qi deficient and whose shen is undernourished can have low self-esteem and lack self-confidence. The tongue is controlled by the heart. If there is heart fire, the tongue will not just be red, as is usual in fire conditions, but there can also be ulcers and sores on the tongue. The difference between these ulcers and those seen in stomach and spleen imbalance is that when there is heart fire, the ulcers will be triggered by or aggravated by stress or emotional pressure. When there is stomach and spleen imbalance, the ulcers are related to diet. Furthermore, the ulcers will be more red and elevated when there is heart fire. The tongue is also used in communication with others. As explained above, the heart has a great influence on this communication and on our speech. Heart imbalances can also affect the tongue in other ways. Stuttering, stammering can be due to heart chi being disrupted, meaning the heart loses control of the tongue. Heart fire can manifest with a bitter or metallic taste in the mouth in the morning. When there is liver fire, the bitter or metallic taste will be experienced throughout the day. Heart is nourished by and manifests with joy. If the heart is chi deficient or if there is chi stagnation, the person can seem doleful, unhappy, and lacking in vitality. The voice should also have vitality. This is not dissimilar to the tongue, pulse, skin, and so on. This should have the quality of shen, that is a quality of vitality. The same is true of the voice, but there are not the same connotations. When there are deficient conditions or stagnations in the heart, the voice will lack a certain quality. This quality isn't volume and it isn't necessarily joy, but it is related more to movement. The voice should vary and change as they talk, especially as the subject area changes. This reflects the natural movement of the shen. The voice should not be stuck in a certain gear. No sound or emotion in the voice is wrong or inappropriate. It can only be inappropriate to what is being said or to the conversation in general. In the same way that the pulse should have shen, so should the voice. When the pulse is soft yet firm and solid and is rhythmic in its beating, it tells us about the quality of the heart. The voice should have an even flow and not be stuttering or confused. Its tone should go up and down, and it should have the sound of joy and happiness in it. If there is no joy, that is, if heart, chi, and shen are either black or undernourished, there will be a flatness and may be even a tone of sadness in the voice. On the other hand, if there is too much heat in the heart, there can be too much of these qualities of joy and happiness. The voice can be unnaturally glad. This is the life and soul of partly voice. Here, the voice will often be voluble and accompanied by too much laughter, and the person can seem elated and unnaturally happy. Also, there will often be too many and sometimes inappropriate jokes. It may manifest with a constant need to create laughter by repeatedly telling funny stories and making jokes. All this indicates that there is too much heat in the heart. Heart yin deficiency heat will, though, result in the voice that is not voluble, and the person will have more of a nervous laugh or giggle while talking. There may be a short nervous laugh that ends their sentences like a sort of inappropriate punctuation mark. Although the heart has no direct influence on physiology of fluids, it can nevertheless be involved in urinary imbalances, as well as urine becoming dark and odorous when there is heat conditions in general. Heart fire can drain down to the urinary bladder via its partner organ, the small intestine. This can result in a dark urine that may contain blood and a painful or burning sensation on urination. General symptoms and signs of heart imbalances. There is palpitation, restlessness and mental agitation, sleep disturbances, shen disturbances, mental emotional symptoms, changes to the tip of the tongue. Thank you for your attention.
We now discuss chi transformation, basic concept, motive force. The theory of chi transformation is also an important component of Chinese medicine. It is reflected in every phase from the basic theories to all aspects of clinical practice. An accurate and thorough understanding of chi and its transformation is necessary for the mastery of the Chinese medicine theoretical system and its application. Basic concept of chi transformation. Chi transformation in philosophy refers primarily to its changes and transformation under certain conditions. In CM, it applies principally to the metabolism and transformations of essence, qi, blood, and body fluid. As a matter of fact, the course of qi transformation is the course of transformation of the materials and the functional capability in the body. The concept is a high-level abstraction of the actions and transformations of yin-yang and of the responses to disease evils. By the theory of the unity of qi, when qi is in a state of condensation, it has form and is yin. When qi is dispersed, it is formless and active and is yang. In Chinese medicine, the yin and yang aspects of qi together constitute the foundation of human physiology. The normal movement and changes of qi give rise to the regular changes from generation to growth and development to reaping from the natural world and storing it. Qi transformation and its proper direction of movement are the physiological basis for many processes. These include the transformation of essence, the circulation of blood, distribution of body fluid, digestion of food, absorption of nutrients, excretion of waste, moistening of tendons and bones, moistening of skin, and resistance to external disease evils. The body's physiological activities depend upon qi transformation because it is their primary motive force. In the broader sense, qi transformation encompasses all the physiological activities as well as the movement patterns of qi. In the narrower sense, it is the sun jiao harmonizing and regulating the metabolism of body fluid. Motive force for qi transformation. The kidney's primordial yang, a source of motive force. In the human body, qi transformation reflects courses of the mutual transformation of essence, blood, and body fluids on the one hand, and the visceral organs and tissues. Chinese medicine believes that primordial yang of the kidney is the source of the motive force for qi transformation. The classic on medical problems states, the active qi between the kidneys determines a person's life. It is the root of the 12 meridians and is termed primordial qi. As this quote indicates, the active qi between the kidneys is related to genuine qi and is also related to the fire of the vital gate. According to the Ming Dynasty physician, Zhang Qingyue, the vital gate is the root of primordial qi and the house of functional water and fire. The yin qi of the 5 zang viscera needs it in order to receive nourishment, and the yang qi of the 5 zang viscera needs it in order to develop. He stressed that the vital gate contains yin qi and yang qi, water and fire, and these two forms of qi are the root of innate qi and the source of postnatal acquired qi. He thus clarified that the essence of active qi between the kidneys is the key of vitality. Though physicians may differ in their opinions regarding the vital gate, there is no dispute regarding its main physiological functions. The vital gate's most important function is to be the root of genuine qi. It is the source of the body's warming capacity, and it warms all internal organs and tissues and promotes their functional activities. The kidney is the foundation of innate constitution of the human body and the root of yin and yang. As the foundation of innate constitution, it has two meanings. The first is that the kidney houses essence, including both innate and acquired essence, and essence is the basic substance of life. The second is that the kidney contains the functional fire of the vital gate, and this fire is the motive force behind the vital activities and material transformations of the body. The relationship between essence and the vital gate is characterized as follows. Qi generates essence, and essence is transformed into qi. Fire of vital gate depends upon essence as the basic biological substance for all the physiological activities. Essence depends on the functional fire of the vital gate as the motive force for the warming transformation and distribution of all vital nutrients. If there is no fire of the vital gate, the body's essence will become a mere inert substance without the capability of nurturing life. Thank you for your attention.
Let's continue our discussion on dizziness with the pattern kidney essence deficiency. Kidney essence deficiency has the following clinical manifestations. Persistent dizziness with a feeling of emptiness in the brain, tinnitus, depression, exhaustion, waking up during the night, poor memory, sore back and knees. The tongue is pale if yang deficiency and without coating if yin deficiency. The pulse is deep and weak if yang deficiency and floating empty if yin deficiency. This is essentially a deficiency of kidney essence. The essence is failing to nourish marrow and the brain. This results in a deficiency of the sea of marrow, one of the main symptoms of which is dizziness. As the essence has both a yin and a yang aspect, its deficiency may manifest with symptoms of either kidney yang or kidney yin deficiency. This is a common cause of mild dizziness in middle-aged and elderly patients. The treatment principle is to tonify kidney yang or nourish kidney yin and strengthen the essence and nourish the sea of marrow. The points we can use are RAN4, kidney 3, bladder 23, bladder 52, SI3, bladder 62, DO16, DO20, DO17, and GB39. RAN4, kidney 3, bladder 23, and bladder 52 strengthen kidney yang or yin depending on whether moxa is used or not, and nourish the essence. SI3 and bladder 62 is better for kidney yang deficiency and strengthen the governing vessel and nourish marrow and the brain. DO16 and DO20 are points of the sea of marrow according to chapter 23 of the spiritual axis. They stimulate the rising of qi to the brain and nourish marrow. DO17, called brain window, nourishes marrow and relieves giddiness. Gallbladder 39 is the gathering or waypoint of the marrow and therefore nourishes marrow and relieves dizziness from kidney deficiency. We have here a case history of a 31-year-old man who had been suffering from severe dizziness, slight deafness, and tinnitus for 1 year. His condition had been diagnosed as Meniere's disease. He sometimes sweated at night and felt generally exhausted. He had a previous bout of dizziness 10 years earlier. He also suffered from headaches and of a throbbing character in the temples when his eyes would flicker. His tongue was slightly red and the coating was too thin. His pulse was empty on the deep level and wiry on both rear positions. The diagnosis: this is a clear case of kidney deficiency with the night sweating, exhaustion, tongue without enough coating, pulse empty on the deep level, and liver yang rising with a throbbing headache, flickering eyes, and wiry pulse. Thus, this is a combined condition of deficiency of kidney yin and excess of liver yang, which is liver yang rising. The dizziness and tinnitus can be accounted for both by kidney yin deficiency and by liver yang rising. So the treatment principle is to nourish kidney yin and subdue liver yang. Thank you for your attention.